My dear students, hello. I welcome you all in our series of lectures on cybersecurity. In the previous lecture, we studied about threats to mobile security. Today, we are going to discuss about various kinds of threats to the systems. So, let us start with it. Number 1, viruses. Virus is a malicious program able to inject its code into other programs or data files. After the successful code replication, the targeted areas become infected. By definition, virus installation is done without user's consent and spreads in form of executable code transferred from one host to another. Purpose of viruses is very often of a harmful nature, data deletion or corruption on the targeted host leading up to system inoperability in worst case scenario. Viruses can spread pretty fast over network, shares or removable media. On many occasions, the virus spread scenarios are connected with social engineering attacks, where end users are tricked to execute malicious links or download malicious files. In some other cases, malicious email attachments are being opened by end users, which ends in infection. Viruses, as already mentioned, have the ability to inject the code in other legitimate executable files. When afterwards run by end users, the virus code contained in the infected program is being executed simultaneously. Viruses can take avail of known operating system security vulnerabilities that allow them to access the target host machines. Depending on virus residence, we classify the viruses such as number 1, resident virus. It is a virus that embeds itself in the memory on a target host. In such way, it becomes activated every time the operating system starts or executes a specific action. Number 2, non-resident virus. When executed, this type of virus actively seeks targets for infections, either on local, removable or network locations. Upon further infection, it exits. This way is not residing in the memory anymore. Number 3, boot sector virus. Virus that targets specifically a boot sector on the host hard drive. This type of virus is being loaded to memory every time when an attempt is being made to boot from the infected drive. This kind of virus loads well before the operating system loads. Boot sector viruses were quite common in the 90s, where the infection was spread mostly through the infected floppy disks left in the bootable drives. Number 4, macro virus. Virus written in macro language embedded in Word, Excel, Outlook, etc. documents. This type of viruses is being executed as soon as a document that contains it is opened. This corresponds to the macro execution within those documents that under normal circumstances is automatic. Another classification of viruses can result from their characteristics such as number 1, file infecting virus. It is a classic form of virus. When the infected file is being executed, the virus seeks out other files on the host and infects them with malicious code. The malicious code is being inserted either at the beginning of the host file code, in the middle or at the end. A specific type of virus called cavity virus can even inject the code in the gaps in the file structure itself. The start point of the file executions is changed to the start of the virus code to ensure that it is run when the file is executed. Afterwards, the control may or may not be passed on to the original program in turn. Depending on the infections, routing the host file may become otherwise corrupted and completely non-functional. Number 2, polymorphic virus. This kind of virus can change its own signature every time it replicates and infects a new file in order to stay undetected from antivirus programs. Every new variation of the virus is being achieved by using different encryption method each time the virus file is being copied. This type of virus is especially difficult in detection by any detection programs due to the number of variants, sometimes going in hundreds or even thousands. Number 3, metamorphic virus. This virus is capable of changing its own code with each infection. The rewriting process may cause the infection to appear different each time, but the functionality of the code remains the same. The metamorphic nature of this virus type makes it possible to infect executables from 2 or more different operating systems or even different computer architectures as well. The metamorphic viruses are ones of the most complex inbuilt and very difficult to detect. Number 4, stealth virus. It is a memory resident virus that utilizes various mechanisms to avoid detection. This avoidance can be achieved, for example, by removing itself from the infected files and placing a copy of itself in a different location. The virus can also maintain a clean copy of the infected files in order to provide it to the antivirus engine for scan, while the infected version still remains undetected. Furthermore, the stealth viruses are actively working to conceal any traces of their activities and changes made to files. Number 5, armored virus. A very complex type of virus designed to make its examination much more difficult than in case of traditional viruses. By using various methods, armored virus can also protect itself from antivirus software by fooling it into believing that the virus location is somewhere else than real location, which of course makes the detection and removal process more difficult. Number 6, multipartite virus. It is a virus that attempts to attack both the file executables as well as the master boot record of the drive at the same time. This type may be tricky to remove, as even when the file executable part is clean, it can reinfect the system all over again from the boot sector if it was not cleaned as well. Number 7, camouflage virus. It is a virus that is able to report as a harmless program to the antivirus software. In such cases where the virus has similar code to the legitimate non-infected file code, the antivirus application is being tricked that has to do with the legitimate program as well. This would work only but in case of basic signature based antivirus software. As nowadays antivirus solutions became more elaborate, the camouflage viruses are quite rare and not a serious threat due to the ease of their detection. Number 8, companion virus. Unlike traditional viruses, the companion virus does not modify any files, but instead compromises the feature of DOS that allows executables with different extensions such as .exe or .com to be run with different priorities. This way, where user tries to execute the legitimate program without specifying the extension itself and expects program.exe to be run, the virus is run instead, with the program.com executable as this one is first in the alphabetical order. Companion virus is an older type and became increasingly rare since introduction of Windows XP. Nowadays, this kind of viruses can still unintentionally run if the host machine does not have the option for show file extensions activated and user accidentally clicks the companion virus file. Number 9, cavity virus. Unlike traditional viruses, the cavity virus does not attach itself to the end of the infected file, but instead uses the empty spaces within the program files itself that exist there for variety of reasons. This way, the length of the program code is not being changed and the virus can more easily avoid detection. The injection of the virus in most cases is not impacting the functionality of the host file at all. The cavity viruses are quite rare though. Then comes worms. Now, what is a computer worm? Computer worms are among the most common types of malware. They spread over computer networks by exploiting operating system vulnerabilities. Worms typically cause harm to their host networks by consuming bandwidth and overloading web servers. Computer worms can also contain payloads that damage host computers. Payloads are pieces of code written to perform actions on affected computers beyond simply spreading the worm. Payloads are commonly designed to steal data or delete files. Some payloads even create backdoors in host computers that allow them to be controlled by other computers. Malicious parties can use networks of these infected computers to spread spam and perform denial of service attacks. Computer worms are classified as a type of computer virus, but there are several characteristics that distinguish computer worms from regular viruses. A major difference is the fact that viruses spread through human activity such as running a program, opening a file, etc., while computer worms have the ability to spread automatically without human initiation. In addition to being able to spread unassisted, computer worms have the ability to self-replicate. This means that worms can create multiple copies of themselves to send to other computers. This often happens through the sending of mass emails to infected users' email contacts. Now, how to protect yourself from computer worms? There are several best practices users can follow to protect their computers from worms. Following these steps will not only decrease the risk of infection, but also provide for easier detection and computer worm removal. Keep the computer's operating system and software up to date with vendor issued security releases. These updates often contain security patches designed to protect computers from newly discovered worms. Avoid opening emails that you don't recognize or expect, as many computer worms spread via email. Refrain from opening attachments and clicking on links from untrusted or unfamiliar sources. Run a firewall and antivirus software to be further protected from computer worms. Software firewalls will keep the computer protected from unauthorized access. Choose an antivirus program that includes download scanning functionality to detect malicious content in email and web downloads, as well as malware removal tools. Next is symptoms of a computer worm. Users should be familiar with the symptoms of a computer worm so that they can quickly recognize infections and begin the process of computer worm removal. Here are some of the typical symptoms of a computer worm: slow computer performance, freezing or crashing, programs opening and running automatically, irregular web browser performance, unusual computer behavior, firewall warnings, missing or modified files, appearance of strange or unintended desktop files or icons, operating system errors and system error messages, and emails sent to contacts without the user's knowledge. While other issues can cause these symptoms, the appearance of multiple symptoms from this list or the repeated occurrence of certain symptoms usually indicates that the computer has been infected with a worm. Now, how to remove a computer worm? There are several steps that should be taken for computer worm removal. It is important to disconnect the computer from the internet and any local area networks before taking any other actions for worm removal. In order to prevent spreading of the worm, use a non-infected computer to download any updates or programs required and then install them on the infected machine via an external storage device. Once the computer is disconnected, check that all antivirus signatures are up to date. Scan the computer with antivirus software. If the scan detects a computer worm or other malware, use the software to remove malware and clean or delete infected files. A scan that detects no malware is usually indicative that symptoms are being caused by hardware or software problems. Check that the computer's operating system is up to date and all software and applications have current patches installed. If a worm is difficult to remove, check online for specific computer worm removal utilities. Next is malicious codes. There are many kinds of malicious codes which we are going to learn one by one. Number 1, Trojan horses. A Trojan horse is a non-replicating program that appears legitimate but actually performs malicious and illicit activities when executed. Attackers use Trojan horses to steal a user's password information, or they may simply destroy programs or data on the hard disk. A Trojan horse is hard to detect as it is designed to conceal its presence by performing its functions properly. Some recent examples are: number 1, Trojan horses embedded into online game plugins, which will help online gamer to advance their game characters. However, the online game account and password are also stolen. The gamer's cyber assets are therefore stolen. Number 2, Trojan horses are embedded into popular commercial packages and uploaded to websites for free download or to be shared across peer-to-peer download networks. Trojan horses are particularly dangerous due to the fact that they can also open a backdoor into a system and allow an attacker install further malicious programs on your computer. Back Orifice and Sub7 are two well-known remote access Trojan horses that allow attackers to take control of a victim's computer. For preventing Trojan horses to infect our system, we must install a file and directory integrity checker, be alert to suspicious hard disk activity and network activity. For example, if your hard disk access LED light is always on, be alert to suspicious deletion or modification of files, and check if your system is accessed without your knowledge, for example, your email accounts. Next is spyware and adware. Spyware is a type of software that secretly forwards information about a user to third parties without the user's knowledge or consent. This information can include a user's online activities, files accessed on the computer, or even users' keystrokes. Adware is a type of software that displays advertising banners while a program is running. Some adware can also be spyware. They first spy on and gather information from a victim's computer and then display an advertising banner related to the information collected. A system with spyware or adware installed may display one or more of the symptoms such as: number 1, the default start page of the web browser is changed to another website, or new items are added to the favorites folder without the user's consent. The user cannot undo the changes, and these browser hijackers force the user to visit the unwanted websites in order to, for example, inflate the hit rate of the websites for higher advertising value. Number 2, pop-up windows with advertisements open on the screen even when the user's browser is not running or when the system is not connected to the internet. Number 3, new software components such as browser toolbars are installed on a user's computer without his or her permission. Number 4, suspicious network traffic appears on the user's computer when he or she is not performing any online activities. However, there are some spyware carefully programmed to avoid being noticed and hence cannot be picked up by the above abnormalities. This type of spyware can only be detected and removed by anti-spyware products or tools. Now, how can we prevent spyware and adware? Besides following the common best practices, we should not download or install software from suspicious sources such as websites, peer-to-peer file sharing sources, etc. Read the terms and conditions of use even before downloading and installing a legitimate piece of software, because they may require you to accept that an adware or spyware system be installed. Read the terms of use carefully when we are asked to install a plugin or use active content when visiting some websites. Review the information provided by certain search engines whose search results may contain malicious code. This may help in avoiding dangerous or untrustworthy websites via search links. Install browser toolbars that can filter out adware or spyware. Install anti-spyware and anti-adware software. Next kind of malicious code is rootkit. A rootkit is a collection of files that alter the standard functionality of an operating system on a computer in a malicious and stealthy manner. By altering the operating system, a rootkit allows an attacker to act as a system administrator on the victim system or the root user in a Unix system. hence the name rootkit. Many rootkits are designed to hide their existence and the changes they made to a system. This makes it very difficult to determine whether a rootkit is present on a system and identify what has been changed by the rootkit. For example, a rootkit might suppress directory and process listings entries related to its own files. Rootkits may be used to install other types of attacker tools such as backdoors and keystroke loggers. Examples of rootkits include LRK5, NARC, Adore and Hacker Defender. Then comes zombies and botnets. A zombie computer, usually known in the short form zombie, is a computer attached to the internet that has been compromised and manipulated without the knowledge of the computer owner. A botnet refers to a network of zombie computers that have been taken over and put under the remote control of an attacker. A botnet might consist of thousands of zombie computers and even more. The zombie computers in the botnets can consist of computers at homes, schools, businesses and governments scattered around the world. A zombie computer itself may only be slowed down slightly or displaying mysterious messages. However, the whole botnet can be used by the attacker for a massive attack such as DDoS, the distributed denial of service attack, against another system or network. Due to the large number of machines in a botnet, the aggregate computing power can be enormous when all these machines work together to launch a DDoS attack against a single target. Next and the last kind of malicious code is active content. Unlike the traditional methods of working with static data files using a software program, today's data objects such as web pages, email and documents can interweave data and code together, allowing dynamic execution of a program code on the user's computer. The fact that these data objects are frequently transferred between users make them efficient carriers of viruses. The transparency of code execution can be a security concern. The two main active content technologies are ActiveX controls and Java. In general, ActiveX poses a greater threat because it has direct access to native Windows call and hence any system function. Java on the other hand is sandboxed or insulated from operating system services by the Java virtual machine. However, this does not mean that there will never be a Java virus. Now, how can we prevent threats to active content? Besides following common best practices, one should watch out for any abnormal machine behavior such as programs taking much longer than usual to execute, a sudden reduction in system memory or available or disk space, any change in the browser homepage, or if some websites cannot be accessed anymore. Once any of these symptoms is noticed, one should not install any active content from suspicious websites. Instead of selecting the decline option at the installation page, one should close the browser. This is because some installation pages may be a visual spoof installing active content no matter which option is chosen. If it is not successful, one may consider using the task manager to force quit the browser. So, with this our today's lecture is over. Concluding it, today we learned about various kinds of threats to our systems such as viruses, worms and other kinds of malicious codes. If we are able to observe the symptoms, we can easily safeguard our systems from being affected from these attacks. I hope you have understood today's lecture. With this I sign off. Thank you. Have a nice day.